Happy birthday to... Wait, what? Aw, shit! Hey guys! Surprise! I know I told you guys that I wanted to release that 1K special video, but because of technical difficulties, yeah, that video is coming out hopefully by the end of the month. In the meantime, this was a secret video I'd been planning. I know Dale's birthday is in December, but mine is today. And what better day to release this video about Cuba's K birthday than my actual birthday? Think of it as my reverse birthday gift to all of you. Anyways, like this video if you like it, subscribe if you want to support the channel, and you can hit the bell for notifications. I'll also include my social media down below. Okay, so let's recap the events of this game. We start the game realizing that Dale is in some weird limbo state, where his memories are feeling hazy. After learning that, we're thrown right into his most traumatic memory, a strong one, represented by a sinister black cube. What is that memory? The death of his parents, otherwise known as his 9th birthday. Dale's birthday is pretty depressing already for a 9-year-old boy. No friends in sight, no bounce house, just some lousy decorations, a black cat, subtle foreshadowing, and a booze-obsessed grandpa.
Drink!
Right from the start, everyone's giving him orders.
Son, I would like some cake.
Check the mail, darling.
Ice!
Jeez, I thought this was his birthday. Very early on, Dale gets a strange letter from Mr. L himself, not going any lengths to sugarcoat his fate. He then decides to open his present to find a device that definitely doesn't look like an ordinary kid's toy. Outside the window, he sees something pretty terrifying. After some bizarre moments, Dale finally gets his birthday song sung to him, but then... his parents seem confused, since no one else seemed to be invited. Unfortunately, the guest does not give a warm greeting. Dale is left in the aftermath of Mr. Rabbit's horrible crime, in the company of his dead family. He finds a strange letter from Harvey and a cryptic message from Mr. Rabbit. From there, he begins to use detective skills at the impressive age of only 9. After some scavenger hunting and one jump scare, he finds 2 interesting visions, both related to Mr. Owl and times not coinciding with Dale's current year. One shows an event right after Rusty Lake Hotel, and the other reveals Mr. Owl talking directly to Dale. He gives an ominous message about his hidden potential. Continuing back on his quest, Dale finally pieces the mysterious gift back together, and once it's completely powered, the hand makes a cameo. It hands Dale a blue cube, the Cube of Time. Dale uses it to naturally time travel back in time. This time, Grandpa has a request.
Open the chest. Gun, I am ready.
And the tides are turned.
Boom!
Mr. Rabbit is killed instead, and Dale's parents are saved. Or are they? Even though this is just one game, there's so many theories to even begin to explore. For one, we know that Mr. Rabbit is trying to escape a current state of existence. The box that the letter is next to is labeled with the Sanskrit phrase and a Lao phrase. Respectively, they say, hungry ghost and spirit which is unable to be reborn. From these clues, it could be deduced that Mr. Rabbit may be referring to being stuck specifically as a corrupted soul before being reborn. That theory could explain the exact reason why he was so scared about being stuck in a specific state, with an insatiable hunger. But it begins to lead to even more questions. Questions that for the time being, we don't have answers to. We have more evidence of a corrupted soul being the state before rebirth because of William in both Rusty Lake Roots and Samsara Room. Harvey is already probably the most mysterious character in all of the games. His mystery in this game is mainly associated with the events of 1894 in the hotel. My theory begins with the groundwork that Harvey is different from most anthropomorphic figures in the games. Most anthropomorphic characters are like the characters from Paradise, that are reborn into animal people and can likely switch between human form and animal person form. Others are like Mr. Crow and Mr. Owl, who are virtually immortal in some shape or form and can switch between human form and animal person form like the others, but while staying in one form all their lives. But Harvey is probably like Mr. Bat. They're both characters who seem to be naturally animals instead of naturally humans, and they also have animal person counterparts, but they don't have any human counterpart. That raises many questions in itself. With that foundation, it can be understood that Harvey can switch between those forms, further supported by his visit from the hotel to Emma in her home in Rusty Lake Roots. But that happens before the event of 1894. In that event, I believe that Harvey loses his ability to become a humanoid character. We never see him as a parrot person beyond that point, and when we see Mr. L in 1966, he doesn't have Butler Harvey by his side. Another support for this theory would be the fact that he doesn't try to transform into a bird person when he's being choked to death by Laura in the mill. I'm sure it would have helped him to switch to a human figure in a situation like that. The theory I feel the strongest on is related to the reality of the situation in the game. The reality is, this is all in Dale's head.
Welcome to the theater of your mind.
Think about how the game begins. We've escaped a corrupted soul from the cabin into an elevator. The game opens with the same elevator, but this time there's an immeasurable number of cubes everywhere. Dale's words say it all. Dale is not actually here, and we're not even witnessing an accurate flashback. He's actually in this room, and I'll explain more about this room in a future video. So how much of this memory is actually reliable? Well, what do we know for sure? Dale's parents are for sure dead. In fact, they're probably the reason he became a homicide detective. This memory was altered, though, to have the false reality that the parents ended up unharmed. As a result, the black cube is transformed into a white one, a symbol for a bad memory becoming a good one. I believe that Mr. Owl, Mr. Crow, and Harvey were not originally a part of Dale's traumatic experience, but were superimposed into his memory of it. As for Mr. Rabbit, there's two possibilities I can think of. We know for sure that Mr. Rabbit is the killer because he's referenced again in Cube Escape Paradox by his original form, David Eilander.
Please call Mr. Eilander, the magician.
Dale recognizes the name in the phone book and is visibly angry to call, so this is a sure sign that he really is connected to that memory.
When will you arrive?
The possibilities for Mr. Rabbit are that either David was in human form when he killed Dale's parents, or that he was the way he appeared in the memory, as a rabbit person. The importance of distinguishing these differences has to do with the fact that we don't know how much of the animal people is reality.
Happy birthday, dear.
And how much of them are just projections from the mind.
Happy birthday.
Now the next theory is about Grandpa. My theory is that Dale's grandfather was not actually a part of his 9th birthday. Why? Well, the prime evidence that really cements this theory is the fact that we see 2 callbacks to Cube Escape Birthday and Cube Escape Paradox. In both versions of the memory, Dale's grandfather is nowhere to be found. I believe that he's most likely a disguised manifestation of Mr. Crow. There's similarities physically with the human form, and the fact that his eyes seem to become pitch black, covering even the whites of his eyes. Moreover, Grandpa seems to know Mr. Rabbit will visit in the redo of the event when he asks for a gun. His attitude also seems bizarrely unshaken after Mr. Rabbit comes by in a do-over. If he's not Mr. Crow, then he's definitely not a normal human, and he's most likely still not originally a part of the memory. Otherwise, he would have been present in Paradox. Finally, there's the tree. I believe that the tree that Mr. Rabbit dies on is the same tree from Laura's yard in Cube Escape Seasons. It's the same one that Dale sees across the street, and if this is true, that means Dale and Laura grew up across the street from one another. So there was always a connecting force between them, even manifesting in weird physical ways, like living across from each other. The cherry on top is the fact that Harvey appears on top of the tree by the end of the memory. And where else do we see Harvey on top of a tree? Exactly.
Dale, what happened today?
Now that I've said my 2 cents, let's ask some real questions. So cats seem to be a motif for Dale. We see a black cat in Birthday and a gray one in Case 23. But what does it mean? Why are they associated with him at all? And then we also have Dale's parents' deaths. How does Dale's parents' deaths coincide with Mr. Rabbit being able to be reborn? Why was he stuck as a corrupted soul? The motives clearly indicate this connection, but it's hard to understand why this is a reality. Why does Mr. Rabbit have to go specifically to Dale's parents? The blue cube. Why does Dale have a connection to the blue cube? Is it just a gift that he was bestowed by the lake when he was born? A bond between him and the lake could be hinted at by the meaning of his last name. Vandermeer means from the lake. So perhaps the lake did gift him? Mr. Rabbit. Why is Mr. Rabbit the only corrupted soul that we see being stuck as a corrupted soul and acting on it in this way? We don't really see any other hotel guests' corrupted souls try to go to these lengths to be reborn. Unless the deer person from case 23 could actually be Mr. Deer trying to get a sacrifice to be reborn. It's still very puzzling to me how Mr. Rabbit is so emphasized though. Why him? And on that note, why does Mr. Rabbit have so many different looks throughout the games? He's the only corrupted soul that seems to have so many different forms. And most importantly, why did they need to turn Dale's memory into a purified one? Does it need to be fed to the lake and removed from him? That's the best reason I could come up with, because if Mr. L's intention was to corrupt him as part of a process, he should have kept the memory as bad as it was, and then removed it. It still confuses me because removing bad memories leads to corruption, and we see that in the mill with Laura. So I wonder whether there's a reason Dale's memories need to be altered that I'm missing. Overall, this game is solid. It adds some insight into the real tragedy in Dale's life and starts to hint that he is much more troubled than we might have thought. We also learn what happened, or rather what's happening to him after the cliffhanger of case 23 and the reference to him in Rusty Lake Hotel. The puzzles are fairly easy. The only difficult ones are probably figuring out that you need to catch the fly on the side of the counter with some sticky gum, and that you need to draw a tree in the window where it was in the drawing. I would say that this game is like the happiness in Dale's childhood, short and sweet, then filled with questions and mysteries. I think this game is monumental to the world building and the lore of the world of Rusty Lake, and I highly recommend everyone to pay attention to this game and to make their own theories or pose their own questions. Anyways, hope everyone had a fun birthday celebration with me, and I'll see you all in the 1K celebration. Yes, another celebration. But you guys can get the cake. Just check it before you eat it. Thank you for spending my birthday with me, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya!